Hi, I'm Bronwyn Patterson, District Nurse with Springboro Schools.
Hi, I'm Wendy Ford. I'm the mental health coordinator for the school district.
We're here today to talk to you about this previous semester that we are wrapping up and the challenges we have faced during this pandemic. We know that we will continue to have challenges as we move into second semester, and we would like your partnership in trying to make things the best that we can for our students as we move forward in the school year.
And from the mental health end, we're going to be giving you some tips and some ideas for things to look for within our students, some things that we see as a school district that have come to our attention, and some ways to help you talk to your student and engage with them, especially for our Model B students.
When it comes to the physical health of our students during a pandemic, it has been very challenging. Some of our students are experiencing absolutely no symptoms with illness, COVID related illness that is. Others are experiencing very mild symptoms, and fortunately, majority of our students are not getting truly sick to the point of needing additional medical care. But I think the biggest thing that we need to try and focus for physical health is making sure that our students are getting the rest that they need, proper nutrition, and exercise is also very important as we go into the winter months. Making sure they still remain active and engaged with their fellow peers. Socially, it's been a challenge amidst the pandemic, and that wears on you physically without even recognizing it. So making sure we're taking good care of ourselves and practicing good health hygiene on a daily basis is a valued asset to good physical health as we move into the heart of illness season amidst a pandemic.
Some of the concerns that the district is seeing regarding student mental health is a sharp increase of anxiety and depression, especially for our Model B students. We are seeing students not getting up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're not showering. When the teachers are doing Google Meets, you definitely see that the children are not really prepared for school. So I really cannot reiterate the need for structure and daily routine. That is key, especially for any teenagers going through the developmental stages that they normally are, but especially when you have students that are at home doing online learning with a lack of structure. That really increases mental health issues on our end. What we also are seeing is a snowball effect. And what I mean with that is the students are getting behind on their online work. We're seeing record low grades for the first time of students just not engaging at all. They're telling their parents they're getting on, they're doing work, but in reality, they're just not. And so the kids are constantly overwhelmed because they're behind on work that they should have done from days, weeks, and even months earlier, which is really contributing to that anxiety and that depression. So the need for structure and routine is something that we really need your partnership with. If you have to work as parents, it's really important that you have the student set the alarm. They can get up at the same time that they should be for school. They can get on their Google Meets. They can do all of the things that they need to do before. And then when you get home, then you can then engage with them with very open-ended questions. So some things that parents can do at home is to really work on providing that structure. So making sure that we have that routine like we had previously discussed is going to be very, very important. And then some examples of open-ended questions would be, can you show me how school's gone? So on every single one of your Model B students' progress, they should be able to open that up for you and they can show you what they accomplished for the day. What we know with children, especially teenagers, is when we say, how was your day? It is one-word answers of fine. Did you get your schoolwork done? Yes. Well, in a lot of cases, that's just not accurate, right? So as a school district, we really look at attendance as a marker for mental health. So when we know students are not coming to school, then we know that there's some other mental health issues a lot of times or physical issues that we need to address. And since they're not coming to school, we really need your help in doing that. So we would ask you as parents when you get home from work, or if you're at home with the students that you're constantly checking in with them, can you please show me, how school's gone? What have you gotten accomplished for the day? What were your areas of struggle? And if one of the things that we really know, especially with teenagers, they just don't have the developmental skills at this point to problem solve a lot of times, just because of their brain development. So they need you to help them with the steps of problem solving. It's very important. So if they couldn't understand an assignment, or they say they did an assignment, the teacher just hasn't put the grade in, you need to email the teacher with the child and show your child the steps to problem solve. And then if you see that there's some discrepancies there and that your child might not have been telling you the full truth, to really explore why. What was causing you stress? How can I help you as a parent? And to let them know that you guys are a team and that we are a part of that team, and we will work through whatever issues come our way, but there has to be really good communication. So we really want you to make sure that you're having those conversations with your students, because in some respects you're doing a lot of the work that we did inside of the school, and you're doing that in your home.
So from the very beginning, back in August, early September, we've asked you to continually monitor students daily for any new onset of signs or symptoms of illness. As we have learned, COVID brings on a variety of signs and symptoms, and every situation in person may experience it differently. We would continue to ask you to monitor things like daily temperature, new onset of cold symptoms, cough, all the way down through the loss of taste and smell, which has been one of the most common that many of our students and staff members have experienced. So with that, continue to do your part. We can't ask and say that enough in this situation. This is a true team effort, and for our community's health and well-being, we have to work together to continue to take those steps for physical well-being. Physical health definitely plays into the mental health and vice versa. Our students' mental health, if you're not in the right mindset or struggling emotionally or mentally, your physical health will also be impacted. So again, making sure you're focusing on the daily health habits of good rest, a good night's sleep, good nutrition and hydration, exercise, and making sure that if you're not feeling your best or you are feeling sick, that you stay home, take the time you need, and we will catch up with you as soon as we can get you back to school, healthy and safe. As we go into winter break, we all know that the holidays bring times in which we all want to be together, celebrating, hanging out, and enjoying the time off that we are given throughout the winter break. Please remember and guide your student to not forget about the importance of staying within their bubble of friends, trying not to be too frivolous with their activities and time spent together. But also remember that it is important for them to socially have some time with friends. So doing their best to distance, mask when possible, and continue to do good hand washing and health hygiene practices when they're out and about working with others or hanging with others in the community. If we do our part, our community will see a difference as we move into January and February this school year.
So some ways that you can support your students as parents, and this is really important, and I really hope that everybody watching this will really take this to heart. If you could set some time with your child where you guys can have some real open discussion. Really like to see if you guys could all have a family meeting to really look at what worked. Especially if you're a Model B student, or even if you're a Model A and you've had to transition back and forth to Model A to Model B, what worked for your student this semester and what didn't work. And then you can kind of talk about, have those open dialogues and those discussions, that we had kind of mentioned before. But it's really going to be important while we're not crammed for time and they're not having those pressures to really sit back and reflect, so that you know how to support them moving forward. This would be a great time to look at progress book. What worked turning assignments in, what didn't? Where did they struggle with tests or quizzes? Again, when we think about these aspects of our children, they all relate back to their physical health and their mental health. Because when our students get behind, then that's when we really see them pull away. So if you see that your student has done really well in every subject and there's one subject for some reason they have a really low grade, it's really important to kind of ask those probing questions. Tell me what was different in that class. What worked for you in the other classes, what didn't work for this one? Because a lot of times what we'll see in school is we'll see a student skip a subject that's hard. So they might try to go to the bathroom, they might try to go to the nurse's office. Again, those supports aren't in place when you have a Model B student. So we really need you guys to partner with us to look at why did you have a low grade in this class and not your other one. So those things are really going to be important. Setting daily goals. Use the use of a whiteboard. I've incorporated that in my own office at this point because we have so many different ways that we're having to do things. So we have our, daily goals of the things that I need to get done that day. What do I need to get done that week? And then, things that I don't want to forget. So setting those daily goals for our students is really important for them to understand what is the end goal of that week, where it's a lot easier, I think, when you're in person to be able to see that because the teacher directs it. When you're online, it's much harder to kind of know, what your week is supposed to look like, especially if you're not having good routines, you're not going to bed at normal times, you're not getting up. I'd really encourage your students to get up and to shower every single morning. The one feedback that I hear a lot from teachers is when they look and they're having those Google Meets with our students that they kind of look disheveled, they look down, they look like, they're just not taking care of themselves. So that hygiene, again, really plays a part into our physical and emotional, aspect of education. So if there's anything that you can do to really partner with your student and have some of these questions with them, I think it would really be helpful. If over break you see signs that your student might have a potential mental health issue, please reach out to us or to your family doctor. This is really, really important. We will be back on the 4th. If something happens over break and you're concerned, touch base with your family doctor. Let them know this is what you're seeing, this is what your concerns are, and this is what your student is or your child is reporting to you. So you want to look for lethargic behavior, very interrupted sleep, not being able to sleep well, more irritable, especially with males. We know with depression they have a lot more anger issues than they do with females. There's more crying, more pulling away, staying in their room. So these are signs that we want you to look for. With anxiety, it can be really just shutting down, which looks very similar to depression, but a lot of times kids that are anxious, they just shut down and stay inside of their world, and they also become really frustrated and irritable. So it's really important that you reach out to your doctor. We also have a partnership with Catalyst Counseling. It's very easy, if you need a referral made, we can make that, or you can contact them yourself. They do telehealth and have done a wonderful job in our schools, so they will be happy to help any of our students as well over break.
If your student is to become ill or be tested for COVID over Christmas winter break, we would ask that you contact your physician or the Warren County Health Department for additional guidance or direction on what that means for isolation and quarantining. We know that this is a possibility as we go into the holiday season based on the increase of cases within the county over the previous weeks. So during the time that our nurses are out of the building over winter break, please reach out to your physician or the Warren County Health Department for guidance. You can also reference our COVID page, which has many, many layers of details on COVID-19, and the most recent CDC guidance and Ohio Department of Health guidance can be found there as well. If you need to reach out to anyone over break, we would ask that you reach out to the principal via email, and we will arrange to get somebody in contact with you if it's an emergency. Our nurses will return to their buildings on January 4th, and at that point, if you have any updated health information that needs to be shared with us, please feel free to give them a call or send an email, and we will get back with you that week to arrange things for the following week when students return. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today in this conversation. Your students' health, both physical and mental health, are very important to us, and we value your partnership in moving into second semester to make the best of a situation that we truly don't have control of. We look forward to working with you in the second semester of the school year.
And please feel free to reach out to us. January 4th will be our first day back. If through conversation with your child you learn some information that you think it's important that we know, we really want to work with you as a team so that we can make sure that your students are healthy and they're happy when they return back to us.